Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have such a close relationship with God, while others feel like they're talking to a wall? What if I told you the secret isn't about talking to God, but talking with God? There's a profound difference that changes everything. Throughout biblical history, we see remarkable examples of people who didn't just pray at God, but engaged in genuine conversations with the Almighty. These weren't religious speeches or formal rituals. They were real, honest, sometimes even heated discussions between human beings and their Creator. Take Abraham, for instance. When God revealed his plan to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, Abraham didn't simply accept it and move on. Instead, he engaged in what can only be described as divine negotiation. Abraham asked, "Will you sweep away the righteous with the wicked? What if there are 50 righteous people in the city?" Genesis 18:23-24 shows us Abraham boldly reasoning with God, bargaining down from 50 to 45, then 40, 30, 20, and finally 10 righteous people. This wasn't disrespectful. It was relational. God didn't rebuke Abraham for questioning him. Instead, he patiently engaged in this back-and-forth dialogue. Abraham understood something crucial. God desires relationship, not religious performance. Moses provides another powerful example. At the burning bush in Exodus 3, when God called Moses to lead the Israelites out of Egypt, Moses didn't immediately say, "Yes, Lord." Instead, he questioned, objected, and even made excuses. "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh?" he asked. "What if they don't believe me? What if they don't listen to me?" Moses even complained about his speaking ability, saying he was slow of speech and tongue. Remarkably, God didn't strike Moses down for his hesitation. Instead, he addressed each concern, provided solutions, and even accommodated Moses' weaknesses by giving him Aaron as a spokesman. This dialogue shaped one of history's greatest leaders. Job takes this concept even further. After losing everything, Job didn't offer polite, sanitized prayers. He poured out his heart in raw, unfiltered honesty. "Why did I not perish at birth and die as I came from the womb?" Job asked in chapter 3:11. He questioned God's justice, demanded answers, and refused to accept simplistic explanations from his friends. When God finally responded, he didn't condemn Job for his questions. Instead, God engaged with Job's concerns and ultimately restored him. The book of Job teaches us that God can handle our honest doubts and desperate questions. Perhaps the most dramatic example is Jacob wrestling with the angel of the Lord all night long. This wasn't a quiet prayer session. It was an intense physical struggle that left Jacob permanently marked. "I will not let you go unless you bless me," Jacob declared in Genesis 32:26. His persistence and refusal to give up resulted in a new name, Israel, meaning he who wrestles with God. Even Jesus modeled this kind of authentic dialogue with the Father. In the Garden of Gethsemane, facing the cross, Jesus prayed honestly about his fears and desires. "My Father, if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me," he said in Matthew 26:39. Yet he concluded with submission, "Yet not as I will, but as you will." So what does talking with God, rather than to God, look like in practice? First, it means bringing your real self to prayer, not a sanitized version. God already knows your thoughts, fears, and frustrations. Pretending otherwise creates distance, not intimacy. Second, it means listening as much as speaking. Conversation requires two participants. After you share your heart, pause and listen. God speaks through his word, through circumstances, through other believers, and through that still, small voice within your spirit. Third, it means asking questions and wrestling with difficult concepts. God isn't threatened by your doubts or confused by your questions. He's big enough to handle your struggles and patient enough to guide you through them. Fourth, it means expecting responses. When you talk with someone, you anticipate an answer. Approach God with the same expectation. He may not respond in the way or timing you expect, but he will respond. Finally, it means building a relationship over time. The biblical figures who had the most intimate conversations with God didn't achieve that overnight. They developed their relationship through consistent, honest interaction over years and decades. Talking with God transforms prayer from a religious duty into a life-giving relationship. It changes you from a distant subject making requests to a beloved child sharing life with a caring father. This is how God has always desired to relate to his people, and it's available to you today.